Good morning in there, out there, from in here, out here, a little late in the morning. Apologize for that. If any of you have been sitting there, Viv, are you all set for a few more cookies? Would you like to come here? Hey, the sandhill cranes are coming through. Of course, that always means that's the beginning of winter, maybe. Oh, Viv wants something. A slurp? Viv, you want a slurp? Hmm? How about one of these? That be good? Yeah, so the Sandhill Cranes are coming through. How about that World Series, if any of you are interested? Lucky to get to watch that, huh? How are you? How are you? That's such a, wow, the lucky me day yesterday. First, Christy Berghoff came, her book, Rooted. It's really getting a lot of good stuff. Carrie Newcomer and Parker Palmer are going to have her on their program. Um, and and she wrote a beautiful inscription. And we just had such a good morning. She taught me so many things about what it's like to go through writing a memoir. It looks like, well, we'll write this and this. Oh man, it is so, isn't it, Viv? Huh? It's so complex and complicated, and you have to make so many decisions. It was a fascinating thing for me to learn all that. Wow, she's so kind. And then in came G.F. Corick and Barb Saunier, who has a new wonderful collection of poems, the painting on the cover by Barb herself. There is room in a horse for a whole boy. And what a wonderful collection of poems. It was about time that when I came here 1.5 million years ago, she was one of the top poets that intimidated me. And finally, we get a collection. It's a strange world out there. Yeah. When my latest collection came out, I had all these. Oh, we're going to have you on this, and we're going to have you on this. We're going to have, and I'm still waiting. Yeah, look at it. Isn't that wonderful? That leg of Vivi's comes out like that. You're so good. We just love that leg. Isn't that the best leg in the whole wide world? Isn't it? Huh? She's really been enjoying the autumnal romps through the leaves, aren't they? Oh, they're really something. And here, of course, we get a whole carpet of leaves. Um, Makes me all the gladder to have cleaned out so much of the woods of 7 acres here and gotten so many of the logs, or as others say, even the sticks off the woods floor, so that it's just a beautiful carpet of leaves. Yeah, gosh. Yeah. Did I say the sandhill crane? Yeah, I think I said. How about this girl? Do you want to go see the sandhill cranes? You'd really like the sandhill cranes. Yeah, they would. They might think you're a sandhill crane. You know that? They might. What do you think? What do you got in your eyeball? Oh, okay. All right, all right, all right. All right, all right, all right. Oh, here we go with my usual notes to myself, and then the phone goes off. You know how that works, right? And the phone goes off. Oh, come on, you rascal. Here we go. Our exchange student next door from Guatemala carved his first pumpkin. I think it's wonderful. It glows at night. He really did a great job, and it was so fun to think that not possible for 14 years. Yeah. And then uh, J.R. Solonce was on Rattlecast, and he's been very kind to me. And look him up. He's got 40 books, 40 collections of poems. 40. I don't, I won't write, oh, well, we won't go there. And then we had a visit from Kevin and Amy Miterman. I need a slurp for that. They are fascinating. Live near Grand Forks, North Dakota. Kevin is a former plastic surgeon who's now a luthier, and he's world known. I mean, some of the greatest guitarists in the world um, asked for Kevin to make them a guitar. He makes he brought a new one in the house, and the first strum, the whole house echoed. It was remarkable. And he has, Leo Kottke will only play a Miterman guitar. So we had a wonderful visit with them, with just learning all about making a guitar, and with Amy, who uh, is just so caring about cats and lost cats, feral cats, and she's placed 160 some cats that she first domesticates, trains, gets to be calm, gets to be non-feral. I don't know what the word is. So these are just people with fascinating things they do. Um, and our neighbor Angie down the hill here, she starts Christmas on November 1st, and she has on November 1, we went over to see how it was going, and down, Ivy, down, down, stay, good girl, and down. Listen to me, Mr. Harshman, huh? Aren't I? I don't mean, I'm sorry, I don't want to be harsh, no. Lick my glasses. Well, you don't want to do that down thing, do you? And she had 2 Christmas trees up already, November 1. I love stuff like that, don't you? I mean, that's just really, really good. Did you take part in No Kings? We had one of the great, terrific artists here in Douglas has a gallery, and she had her No Kings painting in the window. And this woman came in. Maybe you saw it on YouTube or someplace, because somebody visual took a film of it. Just started screaming and yelling and screaming and yelling, and the yelling and screaming and screaming and yelling. Oh, it's awful. And anyway, it's always interesting about screaming and yelling and screaming and yelling and freedom of speech, and it's just hard to believe. Hard to believe. Yeah, but we don't want to talk about those things. Here. We'll do our morning exercise. Here we go. We'll loosen up our. That's it. Loosen up our arms, huh? What do you think? I think that'll work. My dear colleague, I came in 71 to the college. He came in 72, and he was professor of the year, or was it the whole country? By the Carnegie Foundation, Stephen Hemingway. Probably, yeah. You'd have to say he's the most legendary teacher the college had in my time, or maybe any time. And here, stay. Poor Stephen had a stroke, and he's over at Mary Free Bed. If any of you are close by or want to know that, maybe didn't know it, give Steve a hello. And Steve, man, we love you. We're with you. Um, yeah. Whew. Let me see what. How about turning on your TV and watching Christmas ads? There were Christmas ads at the end of October. We're now leaping past Halloween, leaping past um, Thanksgiving, and is there a Jewish holiday in there somewhere that my ignorance doesn't remember? I don't know. Let's see, Christmas ads, yes. Boy, that really gets me in the spirit. There's nothing like buying a big car in November for Christmas. Yeah, and are you kicking the leaves? You got to kick the leaves a little bit, at least a little bit, right? Yeah. We when we were kids and we go down to see my grandmother and say, let's go on a color. We're going to go on a color tour because there were beautiful, curvy mountain western Pennsylvania roads. I'm going to give you see if you'll stay for one more, and then I'm going to give up. You're just being very rude. There are these wonderful people out here. They're so kind. Yeah. Sometimes we even hear from them. Yeah. And you're acting like you're going to leave. That you're the only reason here is food. That's the only reason you're here. No, you don't care about anybody. It's just food. Yeah, just food. Boom, boom, boom. Yeah. And now you'll probably take off, won't you? Huh? Our daughter's returned from Mexico, and of course, where did she get stuck? All the way from Mexico for a couple of days, which I can't figure out. I'll have to ask her why you go to Mexico for 2 days. But she came back, um, and we kept getting, yeah, I'll see you. What do you want next? Anyway, we hear from her in Chicago, right? Chicago. Fly from Cabo in Mexico. They make it to Chicago, and then an hour later, she's still in Chicago. Now, an hour and a half later, she's finally still in Chicago. And then Julie's making yarn. She's also, we always have, we can't do this without Julie. That's always an interesting thing about people like, here's the cameras on me and I'm getting all this attention. But none of this would happen unless Julie did it for me. And I always think of that when I see all these names go flying past the screen, that the lead actors get, they get to be big deals. Well, Viv, whoa, should have known better. Something's something's not right today. With Vivi and I are going to have we're not going to be able to work things out today very well. No. Anyway, what I have no idea what I'm talking about. Kind of glad. Yeah. Although how much? Two. Okay. Well, we better go to. Thank heavens, 2 minutes, because I've run out of inane, boring. Who cares? Well, that's terrible. Since I talked about Kevin and Amy and Christy and GF and Barb, so that's not inane. Those are remarkable, wonderful people. Yeah. So remember their books, Rooted, Christy Berghoff. I love this title. There is room in a horse for a whole boy. Barb Sahay. Okay, let's read a poem. I'm marking my poems with this beautiful note from Kathy Maguki. It's just an amazing, well, she's the definition of kindness. I think I told you last week this beautiful note, kind note from her, and then it has a photograph of her daughter washing an elephant. That's what we ought to all do during Rump's era. We should all get an elephant, not an elephant. Wait a minute. Yeah, well, maybe we could transform the symbol of the elephant by washing it, filming. Okay, this is a poem about a poetry reading. It's called As the Spirit Moves Poetry Reading. There are often these poetry readings where you wait. It's kind of like Quaker meeting for poems. And then you feel when you feel that as the spirit moves. Poetry reading. Everyone waits for everyone. Everyone stares at the floor, then up to the ceiling, then back to the floor. Then a small voice says, I'll read. And we listen to how her dog ran away. She was a little girl, maybe 9, when her dog ran away. And now her dog is running away again, is trotting along each line of her poem, stopping now and then to sniff a post or a pile of leaves, a comma, sometimes at a caesura, sometimes at the end of a line. On he goes, away from her, off into the woods, or across the railroad tracks, or into town, through some backyards, down an alley, into a garden. She tries to follow, calling after him. Between each line she yells, Sammy! Here, Sammy! Let's go home, Sammy! That last Sammy stretching out across each syllable. So good to be with you as always. My apologies for the food obsessed man's best friend. So take care, try to be cheerful, be kind to those who deserve it. Thanks for being here.